a lot of the guests that have come on, and a lot of people, nearly everyone has some sort of fraud or scam. And it's usually kind of like it's done and dusted. And what happens is you hear wallet goes to somebody and then it goes to a load of different wallets. The reality is like it's hurting blockchain that's happening. How easy is it to catch, or is it really difficult? Because the reality is you have to kind of know your customer, and most of the times you have to cash it in somewhere.
Yeah, so that's actually changed over the years, right? And it is still, I would say, very traceable. I think most investigators around the world who are tracing, and we could talk about the different question, which is how hard is it for law enforcement with different budgets to actually have that capability? Because that's a different issue. But for the ones who can afford the proper tools, who have the proper training, it's still relatively easy, especially with open blockchains, to trace crypto. The problem that's happened over the years is, I hate to say it, but criminals are some of the smartest people in the world. I used to joke that if we could turn criminal energy towards improving the world would be a magical place because some of the smartest individuals I've ever met on the planet sadly turned to a life of criminality, right? And
And that's the
they
government
were
you're
getting,
talking about, is
well, yeah, depending on which side, right? And interestingly, crypto technologically kind of exploits the government's biggest weaknesses when it comes to investigations, right? In fact, a federal agent I used to work with said, crypto exploits the two things that law enforcement are the worst at: technology and financial investigations. And there was some truth to that. And unfortunately, law enforcement rarely can't move as fast as crypto moves. And a lot of times the funds move too quickly, where it used to be that we could get it at an exchange and exchanges would hold up. But now there's too many exchanges that don't have KYC AML processes. There's too many unregulated exchanges. There's too many that don't have sufficient compliance. The funds can move on and off those off ramps too fast. And then the other thing that a lot of us are talking about now is the entire system was kind of premised on those on and off ramps and KYC being at those exchanges. But the more and more that people are able to actually use crypto for payments, right? Like when Tesla allowed people to buy cars with Bitcoin, or when Overstock allowed people to use crypto, the more you can direct purchase things with crypto, then you don't even need the on off ramps and the payments made. And if you're some innocent person who sold their house, say, to somebody for crypto, you transfer title and then you later learn that it's all drug money or it's all terrorist financing. You would have no idea of knowing that, and you'd be some innocent owner. The government wouldn't come after you and say, well, we've got to get that money back because you had no idea you sold a perfectly legitimate, right? So there's a lot of problems with the system where the technology is just moving so fast and the regulations and the governments have just been completely unable to keep up.